Hi, my name is Jerome Bell and welcome to Do Think, where thinkers are free to think. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I believe the Trinity is stupid. Now, trigger warning, this video is probably going to offend a lot of Christians. That's about 1 billion people offended.
Giga trigger!
But I want to talk about and bring clarity to a basic teaching of Jesus in the Bible, which is his identity as God. Now, God is integrity, and integrity is God. The Father is the will of God, the Son is the authority of God, and the Holy Spirit is the power of God. So imagine if you were God, all powerful, right? If you had the will to do something, you have the authority to do something, and the power, it's going to be done. Let's say just something as simple as I want to create a planet. If you have the will to create that planet, you have the authority to create that planet, and the power, that planet is going to be made. It's going to be. And so that's who God is. He is the unity of being. He is a unity of will, authority, and power. He is the essence of being. And that is the description of God. That's what he gives us. Now, why would one even bother to explain that to us? Well, we human beings, as we well know, live in contradiction, self-contradiction with ourselves. We call it hypocrisy. We call it cognitive dissonance. We call it being double-minded. We call it, trigger warning, mental illness. So it makes sense that God would bother to explain what it means to live in harmony with your very own self. Human beings are made in the image of God. We are made in the image of integrity. And integrity for a free will being means one thing: will fulfillment. Fulfillment of your will. Now, you may think that this is a very human-centric way of explaining or describing integrity, and it is. But that's because the audience is human beings. It's possible that for other beings, let's say angels, and the way they think, they believe reality is produced by the unity of 5 things. Well, if God wanted to explain or reveal himself to angels in this hypothetical, then he could describe himself as the unity of those 5 things. And then they could have the understanding that, oh, yes, God is the essential nature of being the supreme and the ultimate. So now to go back and talk about why I think the teaching of the Trinity is stupid, we first need to define what the Trinity is. But actually, 2 quick points. The word Christianity and Trinity is nowhere in the Bible. It is a fabrication by men. The Trinity is defined as God being 3 distinct persons in one being. Now, I believe that is at best completely confusing, or at worst intentionally deceptive. Because 2 things are really being said. One, that the Bible is not truly revelation. Revelation by definition means it's understandable. Now, the nature of God is a fundamental teaching of the Bible, so therefore it needs to be understandable. But the teaching of the Trinity is that the Trinity is inherently mystical, inherently not understandable. So the teaching is that you inherently cannot understand the nature of integrity. Now, believe it or not, that's actually not the worst part. The worst part is that it ought to be a mystery to you. This is by God's intentional design. Integrity, unity of will, authority, and power, integrity ought to be a mystery to you. Now, if you look at the history of Christianity, it's been disastrous. Consult the history books for details. But I think it comes from this teaching at its core. It reminds me of Romans chapter 2, verses 14 through 16, which speaks about your own thoughts accusing you of violating your own conscience. Now, you have to think that the Trinity is also taught to many, many people. So now there's a teaching that you ought not understand, much less live in integrity. Now, this reminds me of Romans 1:28 through 32, which speaks of giving hearty approval to others who do things that are obviously bad. We know about slavery. We know about the Crusades. We know about racism, and so on and so forth. Now, I actually grew up learning Christianity, and I'm still recovering from the systemic, intellectual, and moral abuse. Some don't even realize what they're doing, but some, I believe, actually do. Nonetheless, integrity has taught me I need to forgive, and I need to let them practice their belief in peace. It is their right to believe as they believe. That doesn't stop me from sharing the simple, basic truths with others. In fact, with everyone. And that's part of the reason why this channel even exists. Truth is empowering and it sets you free. I want to love and serve integrity, and I want to help others do the same. But that's what I think. What do you think? Please leave your comments below. If you like this video, click like. And if you want to keep thinking, subscribe. Until next time, do think.